Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today we're going to be talking about a grow out tank. Grab yourself a healthy snack and beverage. Stand by. Welcome back to the channel, fishy folks. Today's video, as I said, is going to be on grow out tanks. And this video idea actually came from a longtime friend and subscriber of the channel, John Wood. John messaged me last week on Facebook asking me about grow out tanks. And I realized I didn't have a video on it because he asked, do you have a video on it? And I didn't, so here we go. So what is a grow out tank? Well, a grow out tank is a place that you let baby fish or fry grow out until they're big enough for your main tank, or if you're selling them or trading them or bringing them to your local fish club auction. It's a place where they can grow out safely and hopefully very healthy. And in my case, when I breed live bearers and plecos, the grow out tank is the same tank in most cases. Essentially, I let the fry be born in that tank, and I just take care of the tank the same way I would if I had a separate grow out tank. But many people remove pregnant females or the eggs, if you know they're egg layers, and put them someplace else to be born. I don't do that. If you do that, or you're planning on doing that, this video is for you. So what do you need in a grow out tank? You need the same things in every other tank that you need in a grow out tank. The only difference is typically they're species only tanks of fish that are the same age approximately. Because as you know, guppy fry, or any fry for that matter, are tender and delicious. So if you put little tiny fish in a tank with bigger mouthed fish, eventually they will disappear because the tiny fish will be eaten. So you're going to need a filter, obviously. All my tanks have Aquarium Co Op sponge filters, so I highly recommend the sponge filter. But in most cases, grow out tanks can have any kind of filter. I do caution you, if you have a filter with an intake like a hang-on back or a canister, to put a sponge or something over the intake, because a little tiny fish might get sucked in if they get too close. That's why I like sponge filters. In addition, if you have a sponge filter, as I always say, it's like a little smorgasbord, an all-you-can-eat buffet, if you will, for the fry. Anything that's caught food particles or a little biofilm or whatever, they can come over and just nibble on and eat, and it's all delicious and happy. The other thing with grow out tanks is typically you're feeding a little more heavily because you want them to grow out as quick as possible. So you may have the heat up, you know, a degree or two more than normally you would. You may feed 3 or 4 times a day as opposed to 1 or 2 times a day. And when you do that, that may cause some ammonia problems. So you have to be cautious of that. You have to make sure you have enough filtration where the beneficial bacteria can colonize to take care of any of that additional ammonia from overfeeding and in turn the fish pooping more. Now the other thing you're going to want to in this grow out tank is something easy to see them, so you can see if they're growing healthy. Are there any deformities? Are they sick at all? And then obviously to see when they're big enough to sell, put in your main tank or whatever. Now the setup for these tanks is pretty simple. Let me show you. Alright fishy folks, this is one of my grow out tanks. It is a dual purpose grow out tank. It does have these gorgeous blue Moscow guppies, USA bred, here in my fish room. And of course it has some L32 plecos, a few in there that I'm hoping I get a pair out of, and we can get some more L32 babies. But in the meantime, let's talk about the live bearer section of this tank. So this tank had, I think, 1 male and 2 or 3 females. That's usually what I do. And one of the females dropped a bunch of fry. You can see some little tiny itty bitty fry last week. And so in this tank, it's not specifically a grow out tank, but you're going to set the grow out tank essentially the same way. First, let's talk about the actual tank. Bigger is always better in a grow out tank because this way you don't have to worry about so many things as far as water quality goes. You don't want to go too big because then the little fry will have a hard time finding the food. So in this case, for guppies and plecos, I do like 20 longs. 20 highs will work, especially for the live bearers. but the plecos like the floor space, if you will. So what's in this tank? Well, obviously I have this AquaClear hang-on back filter, and that's just to take care of some of the extra or excess detritus. Not all of it. You can see I have a little pile here that's away from the filter, and I plan to leave that there. The fry, especially the guppy fry, will, you know, rummage through that and eat food and eat what's in there, and this way they're eating all day and growing quicker. This is one of the tanks in the fish room that I do have a heater in. The fish room is about 73 degrees, so the tanks are about 73. This tank is about 76, and the reason I have it a little warmer is I want the guppy fry to grow quicker, basically so I can sell them sooner. Of course, there's a ton of Java moss in here, and that's because in this tank the fry are born here, and then they can go in the guppy grass. I'm sorry, in the Java moss and hide. I wish I could grow guppy grass, but it always dies as soon as I put it in the water. Like in 15 minutes, it's dead or something. Anyway, if you have a separate grow-out tank, you're also going to want lots of floating plants for the fish to hide in, because eventually if there's too many fish, they can get aggressive toward each other, even nice peaceful guppies. And so the guppy grass or floating plants or Java moss, whatever you have, will help the fish with sight breaks and places to hide if they need to. In addition, for places to hide, it also gives things like microorganisms and biofilm places to grow, and of course the guppy fry to nibble on all day. Now, one thing you want to be careful of in a tank like this, and I should really have it on this hang-on back filter, is an intake sponge, because the little guppy fry could technically get caught up in there, go through the impeller, and, you know, become guppy fry mush. Now, obviously there's some detritus hanging on that filter, so I'm okay for now, but something just to keep an eye on. So I know what your next question is. Mike, when are they going to be big enough to go in the main tank? And that's a great question, and it's a simple answer. When they're too big to fit in the smallest mouth of the tank they're going into. I'll make that simple. If they can fit in the mouth of another fish, they probably will go in the mouth of another fish and be a tasty and delicious treat. I don't know if you can see. Nope, it's gone. There was a guppy just, oh, there it is. There's a guppy just nibbling on some of the detritus, checking it out, looking for some food. Now, as far as plecos go, grow-out plecos, you're going to also want the same type of setup as you have in your main pleco tank. You're going to need some driftwood for them to hide under and nibble on. You're going to need some caves for them to hide on and eat off of. And that's it. That's kind of all you need. Now, when you have grow-out tanks, like I do, I typically feed more in them. So you just want to be careful how much you feed and watch your water parameters. That does it for grow-out tanks, fishy folks. If you have any comments or questions about grow-out tanks or anything else, leave them down in the comments below. And thanks again to John for the suggestion. Have a great day, everyone. Okay, fishy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I have an itch, so we're gonna redo that. Now everything's itching. I don't know why that happens. Now this video idea actually came from a subscriber suggestion, a good and long time subscriber, a good and long time. Welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up a grow-out tank for your live bearers. Now I say live bearers because that's what I have. I have grow-out tanks for guppies and plecos also. They're not live bearers. But the theories, and all these things may cause an ammonia or a cycle crash. In addition, just like the pile of delicious mom, it gives a place for little microorganisms and yeah, that's good. I'm fine. That's the experience I have. I don't know, again, itches. Welcome back to the channel, fishy folks. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a grow-out tank for your live bearers. Why do I say live bearers? I shouldn't. Okay. Now, if you're new to this channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. If you're a long-time watcher but not a subscriber, why don't you go ahead, hit that subscribe button also. Lots of hiding places for your new baby guppies. I don't know.